like, kung mag-initiate ako, kung mag-lead ako, baka pagtawanan lang ako, baka wala naman akong may tulong, baka wala naman akong magawa. Tatahimik na lang ako. Huli ka na kasi. That's exactly what the enemy wants you to believe. And it's interesting here, yung enemy na yun, right? There's this thing fighting against us. Verse 8 says, therefore it says, when he ascended on high, that's Jesus, he ascended on high, he led a host of captives and gave gifts to men. Itong host of captives, in Colossians, there's another passage, and I just love this. I wish somebody would make a painting of this, because in my mind it's something that stirs me on very greatly, especially as a man. Here's the painting. Colossians says that he put to shame the authorities, spiritual authorities, demons and Satan. He put them to shame, making a public spectacle of them, triumphing over them in it. He made a public, in the olden days, when you were a king and you conquered another nation, a good thing to do is don't kill the people, especially the king. Don't kill the king. What you do is you grab them and you start parading them around. And one of the things that they do is actually they shave your beard in half. Kalahati lang nandiyan. And they would strip you naked, waist down. And so the king would be at the head of the procession, just dragging these enemies around. And everybody, all of the people of the king, you know, our enemies, pahiya na sila. They're a public spectacle. Everybody's looking at them, nakakahiya sila. They're defeated, absolutely immobilized, and just, what's the word for it, dominated over. It's really a psychological triumph. That's what God did with Satan and the forces of evil. Satan and the forces of evil had authority and power over the whole world, and had authority and power over us before we came to know Christ. And all of our abilities, all of our skills, all of our talents, they just viciously used for their own purposes. Sin, darkness, evil, it was an oppressive master to all of us. And yet now, here we see Jesus, when he ascended on high, he led a host of captives. You know, put hooks in their teeth and just drag them out. And Jesus defeated all of these things. And then, he gave gifts to men. Those gifts were the very things that this kingdom of evil had, riches that this kingdom had amassed at our expense. Okay, as slaves. And so what Jesus did was he defeated all these demons, and then he took what was theirs and he returned it and gave it to each one of us. So that, and then he says, now, okay, here it is, here's the gift. You are now free to use this for life. No longer will you be under an oppressive master. You can use this for peace, not for destruction, for prosperity, and not for decay. And so tayo, again, here's you know, Stillwater's members sitting down at the tambayan maybe, and you know, there's that battle in your minds, you know, do I wait for somebody to invite me to go with this? Do I wait for somebody to start a conversation with me? Do I wait for the new person to come and talk to me? You know, there's these things in you, and you start to say, well, wala naman ako magagawa, wala naman siya. That's silly. Jesus has already defeated all these things, and he has given you what was taken away from you. It's like zoo animals. Zoo animals, when they live for a certain period, like I think it was a panda or a tiger, I think it was a panda. There's this one animal that was kept in captivity for a long time. And then, they would take this animal out and kind of free it out in the wild. The cage that the animal had was of a certain size, about this big, in this room. Now they found when they brought this wild animal out, the wild animal, very interesting, never left a perimeter the same size of his cage. And I think that's a good picture of where a lot of us are at. We're already free, but Pahiyang-pahiya na yung mga kalaban, those who wanted to abuse us, misuse us, and mistreat us. And we have all of these good things back. And yet, we allow those people to still say, wala kang kwenta, huwag mong gawin yan. Wala kang magagawa. Oh, oo nga, wala akong magagawa. I'm gonna stay in my little cage. It's really sad. You are much more than a slave now.